Hello, fellow adventurers. Welcome to another spiritual tune-up. These are made possible by your questions below on Facebook or Instagram. Thanks so much for posting these talking points. I'm doing my best to get to all of them. There's a lot of great questions. Today's, the spiritual path of LGBTIQ souls. What is the spiritual path? Talk on the spiritual path of LGBTIQ souls. Well, okay. Now I am heterosexual, but things like this are easy to get to the crux of with a little bit of contemplation. And so I have a bit to offer, and I hope I do. I hope I do service to those asking this important question. So, interesting that the question was, explain the spiritual path of these souls. There's a couple of interesting things to that. And I think it's kind of more profound than the typical curiosity of perhaps folks who are not in that category. Their typical question is why? Why do you do that? Why do you have to do that? Were you born that way? Did you choose to be that way? And then listening to politicians, it depends on whether or not people were born that way or they chose to be that way as to what rights they should or shouldn't have and whether or not it can be fixed. Oh my gosh, this misses everything. We're all different. There are 7.5 billion people here who have different lions and tigers and bears. Every lifetime is a confluence of beliefs, leanings, desires, fears, decisions, and whatever we brought over from other lifetimes. This is what yields someone's inclination or gender identity. And it's the same for all of us, and sometimes it pops this way and we are not in that category. Other times it goes the other way and we are in that category. But it's so irrelevant as to why. It is what it is, and people are here to love and move to the light. We all have the exact same agenda. So it doesn't matter, even though this wasn't the question, how or why somebody's gender or orientation is a specific way. They are God particles, fully fledged, adored spiritual beings, and it's none of anyone else's business as to what they may be on any given day, just as I don't want anybody poking into my life on any given day. Now, to turn this to the crux of the question, which is rather deep, but problematic. And hear me out, because I think you'll understand what I'm saying. This is a question about the spiritual path of LGBTIQ souls. And at first I thought, what is that spiritual path? Because I haven't gone there myself thinking about other people's paths in this way, particularly a category, supposedly, of other people. And the best I can come up with is to tell you, and hear me out, is that it's the exact same path as mine. And that our gender and our orientation has nothing to do with our spiritual path. Yet, we do have lions and tigers and bears. All of us, no matter what our orientation or identity is. We all have sensed inadequacies. We all have a feeling that everyone else gets it except for us. But because the LGBTIQ community has been labeled and ostracized and judged so unfairly, they have come to think of themselves as tainted, as different, as needing definitions as to perhaps even their soul path. Beloved, you don't have a different soul path than any one of us. That only furthers the argument that you're different. And here's an interesting point. LGBTIQ. I had to look up the IQ this morning. And haven't you noticed that it's gone from being gay to LBGT and IQ, and there's more. And now there's flags for all of them. If this was done correctly, there would be 7.5 billion letters, because all of us are different. It's not like there's the heterosexual or the so-called implied normal and then all these other special people. There's nothing normal about any of us. We're all of God. And so to buy in to the discrimination that has been foisted upon these innocent spiritual beings who are a product of God's magnificence, as we all are, to a degree that if you're one of them, you too think you need special identity, special lessons, a special path, a special understanding of your unique situation, neglects the fact that we're all unique, that we're all different, that we're all scared, that we're all trying to find out who we really are. And as I have often quoted, Ram Dass, we're all walking each other home. And if somebody's favorite color is green, and someone's favorite color is yellow, they don't need special treatment, and they don't need anything other than a recognition that they're just the same as me and you. Now, again, that is not to diminish or gloss over the hideous discrimination suffered by people who identify differently than, 4 billion people, who are inclined or leaning or oriented differently than other people. Again, their plight has been horrific and unjust and undeserving to the degree that they see themselves differently in a way that they shouldn't be seeing themselves different, because they are the same as all of us. We are all the same. We are all totally different. Anybody whose life would be examined by a microscope, their idiosyncrasies, their proclivities, their uniqueness, it would be horrifying. And we all have something to hide, and we all have something to be proud of, and we're all here as God moving towards the light. So I hope I did the questioner service. From an LGBTQIA. I mean, it should go on and on, because we're all that different, if you get my drift. Tally ho, lots of love from Orlando, Florida. Thanks for the hearts and the smiles and the waving. Thanks for all the engagement down below. It makes a big difference. If you don't get Notes from the Universe, please sign up for Notes from the Universe. Have an amazing day. You're all amazing. We're all in this together. There's only love. There's only light. So be it. Hey, Vivian. Hey, Santosh. Hey, Alexandra. Hey, flow of energy. Have an amazing day.